to the Modest Men Podcast.
Like, what I gotta be there early for? I ain't even getting paid to be there early. Why I gotta go?
Oh gosh! And this is how we start the Modest Men Podcast off with Tim Moore rambling on.
Happy Friday!
It is a Victory Friday.
Victory Friday. I got my Indians cup.
I am currently trying to get my voice back and open my eyes currently. So this is
you just woke up.
You get the whole Bobby Rush experience. So Welcome to the Modest Men Podcast with Jason and Justin. We're back on another edition. So we're gonna start this joint off with of course, how's the weather over there, brother?
I mean, it sounded like you was about to say we're gonna start off with some smooth jazz or something.
Yeah. I said we got that DeBarge coming up with Switch They'll Never Be. Yep. And follow with Secret Garden by Barry White. Secret
Lovers.
Right. Said you're now tuned in to 93.1 WZAK.
The Quiet Storm.
The Quiet Storm.
There it is. I mean, it's a lot going on. How's the weather? I think since our last podcast, now we got Puppygate. We got playpens and we got
Puppygate.
we got pee pads. We got a lot going on. So I was
in case you missed it, Tim Moore has a new addition.
Second dog. Second kid. House full of women. Complete.
Which is funny because we talked about that on the last episode.
Yes.
Wonder if you're gonna get a puppy, and literally you get one the next day. Mm-hmm. It was incredible. It's like I caught that shit. Yeah.
every once in a while, your premonitions become reality.
Yeah, Negrodamus. Yeah, right.
So that's what's really. I mean, that's the real only update of how's the weather. I mean, actually, it's cold as fuck this morning. Like they said, it was. You seen Tony Gonzalez last night with the gloves on and everything. Mm-hmm. It's fall. It went from 2 days ago it was 85 degrees, and now it's like 50 degrees. So it's cold. It's this actual sweater weather. You know what I mean? Other than that, it's a good Friday. Browns won.
Oh yeah.
The new nickname for the Guardians is the Gardos. Like, I don't know why, but the Gardos swept. Okay. Swept the White Sox.
Wow.
The magic number is 5.
Nice.
Yeah. Trying to think what else is really going on around here. New puppy. That's about it. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
How's the weather?
Weather is a lot better here. It was a really nice night last night. It probably would have been a terrible night if the Browns would have blew that lead.
Oh, we have a lot to recap.
Yeah. So we sat outside and hung out. Taylor and Christopher Duncan are in town, and it's Taylor Duncan's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Taylor.
Happy birthday.
She's 40 now.
Yeah, she's in that club. I got a few months for that, 9 months before that. Mm-hmm. And Blake's birthday, she just was yesterday. She turned 3. It was crazy. We were just hanging out. Went to our Blake wanted to go to Porky's, which is our local place that after Little League games you go get a pie pizza and some chicken and a pitcher of beer and get the little video games and the shooting machine, and it's the place that everyone goes to. It's not Cheers, but it's one of those we called it like the Max, or
sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very true.
And they're always glad you came.
Right. It was a good time. I wanted to take this opportunity to, just briefly share about, make sure you guys out there, fellas, go, it's a very scary thing of, colonoscopies and all of those things, man. Just go to the doctor. Mm-hmm. Just go do that. Yeah. And, it's been documented I have stomach issues, and so I have ulcerative colitis, and so that is no fun. And we will have a segment about talking shit. So that's a
well, because it applies to both of us.
Yes. So it's kind of crazy. So yeah, I'm having some little discomfort. I got to go do labs today and all that fun stuff. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, go take care of yourself. Go to the doctor. Yeah. Anyway,
we're not invincible. I
nope, we're not
with that.
Yeah, it's crazy because we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of Chadwick passing away from colon cancer, which was wild. So, no one knew that he was sick, and I think we just need to make sure we take that seriously. So, anyway, so let's get into it. But yeah, the weather is actually, in temperature-wise, beautiful night yesterday. I think it was still 65. Even though we threw on the fire pit just because we want to see what this smokeless fire pit looked like. And I mean, it's 70% smoke free, or smokeless, right? It's nice though. It's a nice, encompassing fire. And I got that. It's a hot shot, and they had those available at Costco. I looked into the solo stoves and so forth, and they were a little bit more expensive than this one. So I was like, you know what? I love Costco products. They always put the best stuff in there. So I tried it, and it works really well.
Shout out to Costco. You converted me. Shout out Kirkland. Shout out.
Oh, the Kirkland signature. Yeah. I got a Kirkland signature sweatshirt, and Kirkland signature is the best of the best product. They literally go into companies and say, hey, we gonna brand your product. And it's typically, if you guys haven't noticed out there, it is the better product of what the comparable product is to that. So, yeah, here we go.
Shout out Costco, Costco gas for the low.
Oh man, always, yeah. Oh gosh, good stuff. And I heard Cleveland was crazy right now as far as the temperature. Yeah, this good old Midwestern temperature changes where you see 4 seasons in a day. It happens. You get that one storm for some odd reason in October that blows off all the leaves, and right behind that you get snow. It never fails.
Right. Or in the morning, it's because you'll have the morning, it's cold, maybe it's some frost on your windshield, so you got to leave the house dressed for winter. And you leave, you get out of school or you get out of work, and it's summer again, and then it's fall,
exactly,
and then the sun go down, and then you need a jacket.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, y'all get a chance to go to any high school games or anything like that this year?
I don't think we will, unless it has to be well, because since she's not in any sports that have to do, because they'll let the kids run on the field, or whether they're ball boys, or because she did that for soccer, and they would help, they would round up the balls at the soccer game for the high school kids.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But since I'm not involved in football, I don't generally see myself being at a high school game. Plus, honestly, with my hours, I really wouldn't make it to one in time. So
we used to go down to the games down in when we were in Cincinnati. Didn't get a chance to go to the games in Michigan, but it was just always fun just seeing high school ball, seeing the energy. That's why I remember seeing, shout out Mine Williams, I remember seeing him play down in Cincinnati. He was a baller. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was. But they also, I love always just the concession stands in high school, because that's just
So I was at my nephew's game, and you go up to the concession, you expect to see pizza from whatever local pizza spot, and hot dogs, and tell me why they were selling Chick-fil-A.
Oh wow, really?
Sandwiches and nuggets. I'm like,
okay, that's sweet.
This is not the traditional. You go up to the stands and you get some pizza, popcorn, and some candy.
Well, so was that Streetsboro or Hudson?
Hudson.
Okay.
Up at the middle school field where they do, 4th grade through 8th grade football.
Okay. That's too funny, man. Wow. Yeah, we had so the first time we had Skyline and Coney's down in Cincinnati was at one of the football games down there. So yeah. But let's get into the task at hand.
This was an interesting week of football since the Browns played twice. So do we just want to go on the fly and quickly cover what happened Sunday before Thursday, since we're recording on a Friday?
Yeah, you know what? That sounds good to me. I wanted to start off on a positive and then talk about last week's debacle, and then we can sandwich, like the good old ham sandwich.
Well, because they're both important. So it's like, do you talk about? I mean, you're right. We can talk about the good if you want. That's fine.
Hold on. Let's start off with the good first, and then we can come back to the debacle, and then end it again on this one. So hold on. We're gonna start off with a speech from Kevin Stefanski from yesterday.
Hey, how about that team win? Hell yeah! That's a team win. We stood in here, all right, and had a sour taste on our mouth Sunday, did we not? Yes, sir. And I asked you to respond. Offense, defense, special teams, all of it out there, picking each other up. That's what great teams do, guys. We pick each other up. But I am so proud of you for how you responded, okay? I asked you to own it, flush it. We did. I trust in the people in this room, and we're going to do it together, all right? Now, we got to be smart this weekend, right? You guys are off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You've earned it. You're not off Monday. You've earned it. You've earned it, but we got to be smart. Take care of each other. Team on three. 1, 2, 3.
All right, so that was that. I got a bone to pick on that, and just in his speech.
Oh, I already know. I already know what you're gonna say.
Because I don't want to hear about special teams.
That's why they're from now on for the rest of this year. They will be the unspecial teams.
Yes, they're truly unspecial, unspectacular. However you want to put it. Y'all some trash. I guess I'm gonna stop sharing on that joint. Yeah, so we had a victory yesterday.
Browns are now 2-1, 1-0 in the division.
Yep. Final score 29-17 yesterday. The final score came in an effort of a few laterals, and we recovered the ball in the end zone yesterday. So, which was awesome. I just happened to be going against the Browns defense yesterday, and that was really funny just seeing the 6 points added on to that. And actually, I take that back. It was 8 because it was a fumble recovery and 6 points. So can't be mad at that. Browns and Buckeyes over everything. And so that it includes fantasy football. So I can never be mad at that. It's like, however, it is just really funny that happened. I got a couple of...
However...
Yeah, let's talk about the good in that game. The good...
Your quarterback still does not make mistakes, and it's very good. 21 for 31, 220. I believe 3 quarterback sneaks. He's a big man. He falls forward.
He's a very large man.
Nick Chubb is unstoppable.
Yep. Yeah.
Amari Cooper's very good.
They talk about a 5th round steal.
First receiver to have back-to-back 100 yards since Josh Gordon.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Yep. Also, we didn't have receivers have back-to-back touchdowns last season either. So in a week, so
also
that
true.
was something. Yep. Yeah. Jacoby Brissett, like I said, this is the type of quarterback we need, right? A leader. You can see he has full control of the offense.
An adult.
Yeah. I mean, just saying for what it is,
what
right?
What do they say? A pro's pro.
Yeah. It's what was needed for the task at hand. And in tight games like that, not going out there and trying to be a hero, those typically result in wins. And so it's one play I've seen yesterday where he took a sack and we were outside of field goal range, could have made a play. He could have threw the ball down the field and tried to do something, silly, and, ultimately it resulted in turnover, giving the momentum back to the Steelers, and, it could have been something. No, he took a sack. But other than that, man, the zip on the ball is great. He's a very tall and large man, so you don't have to worry about balls being batted at the line of scrimmage.
No.
He gets out of the pocket. He puts some spin on that ball. He hits his check down receivers. I mean, it's what you want. You know what I mean? In the offense.
He's spreading it around, right? I mean, he's targeting the open people, but also feeding who he needs to feed, whether it's Cooper and Njoku, because they both had over 10 targets. So
right, yeah. And so that was one of the things that you knew Pittsburgh was going to load the box, and that's what we saw in the first series, and actually the first two series. And then it's like, okay, we got to throw the ball to essentially. Usually our run game dictates the pass game, and we needed to do the inverse of that to be able to get back to our game plan and running the damn ball. By the way, shout out to the guy that had the run the ball Kevin t-shirt
on. Run the damn ball, Kevin.
Yes, that was awesome. And love to see that. Make sure I put that picture in here. So
we're gonna have to get those shirts made.
Yeah, for sure.
With a little Modest Men Media logo on.
Yeah, absolutely. We can sell those joints.
Run the ball.
I also would say the good is the defense. They stepped up when they
shout out to Jacob Phillips.
Yeah. He was on one yesterday, and I love to see that. MJ had a really good game yesterday. Other than that, incredible catch,
bro. He caught that shit upside down. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. He was
he had he did this to kind of hook MJ, and then he took this other one hand, and it was incredible. That was obviously candidate catch of the year.
I think I forgot how tall he was. I was like, man, he's tall.
Yeah. I would have loved to see George Pickens in the Browns uniform, but we didn't do that. But whatever. Moving on. He's a Steeler now, so we hate him.
Yes.
I would have liked to see a lot more pressure to Trubisky. He had way too much time.
He did.
And I know we were trying to cover our butts with the secondary, and we didn't want to have any blown assignments and things of that nature, but it just felt to me that we needed to put Mitch on his ass, and we didn't. I mean, one time Miles got in there and with a QB pressure, and I think we got one sack in the game, but that was actually very shocking. Starting to come onto some of
the sack was Jacob Phillips, by the way.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, he was right off the edge. I remember that play. Shout out Jacob Phillips from LSU. There we go. Grant Delpit needs to hit the weight room. No, I understand that. We're starting to get into some of the bad, okay? Because got to talk about it. Actually, I could talk about the good too with Denzel. Denzel had played a pretty good game, and it was. I know he had a lot of question marks or whatever. I mean, it's like, well, we ain't called your name in a long time, and blah blah blah. And where are you when these blown assignment things? Again, this blown assignments is not necessarily on the man. They don't run or pass. They don't run towards Miles' side,
right?
And they really don't pass to to Denzel. Denzel was matched up on Deontay Johnson, and that was a pretty good matchup. Deontay Johnson, honestly, he had some catches that had only happened because Denzel played 10 years off the ball. You know what I mean? That's...
No, totally.
Right. But present situations, that looked really good. So, going into the bad or just needs improvement, yeah, that was something. So I'm going to let you cover that portion of it, of needs improvement or just the bad on that.
Okay, so... We still can't do onside kicks. I expect every team to try that if they're down and it's late in the game. Every team's going to do it, right? They brought on Chester Rogers. He did his job as far as punt returns. They really haven't solved kick return because I believe Ford tried to take one, but he came out of the end zone or
7 yards deep.
7 yards deep in the end zone.
7 yards deep.
The unspecial teaming. My kicker is missing extra points still.
Yeah. to
mind you,
I
know it was windy. I know because the Steelers shanked one because
he missed the field goal. Yeah, for sure.
The wind took that motherfucker and was like, "Nah, you going that way." And so
absolutely.
I can't.
That was the same direction too.
It was the same.
You know what I mean? It was the same direction. Yeah.
Which consequently, instead of kicking, I believe we went for it a couple times because we were going that direction.
But and one of the critical plays where I thought we would have went for it and we didn't.
Yeah.
I don't. The bad also comes to this. I don't know why Cleveland sports and even the Browns, it has to be so tight. We should be 3-0, and we always get into these situations where it gets really tight and it has no business being tight. So let's take week 1. Had a fourth quarter lead, decided to surrender a lot of points in the fourth quarter, 17 points in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
And we were down and we had to have a miracle from Cade York in a well orchestrated drive, by Jacoby Brissett to get Cade York in position to kick a field goal. Week 1 win. We had that game in control. Week 2
also had it in control.
Had that game in control. So I want to put this out there for anyone who would like to blame Nick Chubb, the guy who's literally leading the league in NFL rushing and will be a candidate for MVP this year, and we'll get some votes for that because finally some well-earned recognition.
And if he stays upright,
back in NFL,
and if he stays upright, he will actually win the rushing title this year.
Yes, after taking a couple second places. Last week, Nick Chubb scored a touchdown with 1:50 left to go in the game. The first down indicator was on the 1 yard line, and Nick scored a touchdown after a 12-yard run. Some say that he was the one that actually said, you know what, I should have known better. I should have taken a knee or ran out of bounds at that point, as I did when we played the Texans a couple of years ago after I broke for a 50-plus yard run. But I didn't, and so put the blame on me. I'm not going to put the blame on a guy who had scored 3 touchdowns in the game last week, and the fact put us up was supposed to be 14 points, right? Not going to put the blame on that guy. Yeah, screw you guys for that, because it makes zero sense to me. It's like we got to put the blame in the right direction, and that is to our defensive coordinator, Joe Woods, our secondary, and also Mike Preether, who's our special teams coach, because they have effectively taken us out of those games, including last night too.
Yeah, all 3 games come down to your defense and your special teams they really look like they don't practice these things sometimes, the way they look out there, and I know that's not the case, and I know they're prepared, and I know that the coaches are professionals, and I know they're supposed to know how to navigate these situations, but every week, and this has been us as Browns fans for years, and not just this year, but it's like nothing comes easy, nothing is a cakewalk. And last week, week 2 on Sunday, this was very much the case where it should have been over. It should have been a wrap. We should be 3-0. That, and if horseshoes were hand grenades and all that good stuff. And it's just mental breakdowns, mental lapses, things. Yesterday, twice, 12 men on the field during special teams.
Yeah.
How?
There was a blocked extra point. Block punt. That happened yesterday. We had a missed extra point.
Do you have 12 men in the huddle twice or lined up? Come on.
Almost happened again, which was the craziest thing. We were still shuffling players on and off the field when Pittsburgh went to kick the field goal, the second attempt, when they already marked us off 5 yards on the penalty for having 12 men on the field. After all of the issues that we had last week with special teams and onside kick, and you knew that was coming again, and we still missed the ball. The ball just so happened to go out of bounds, and George Pickens also happened to be, went a little too early. But had Pittsburgh recovered that ball, they wouldn't have thrown that flag. They would have picked the flag up. I firmly believe that, because we also have the shield against us right now, and we've also known that like NFL officials have always been on the bad side of the Browns, and we've seen it happen all too often, because those calls always goes against us, or just so happen that they pick up a flag. Let's talk about yesterday what happened when who was it? There was a face mask on. Oh my gosh, was it Nick? There should have been a call for a face mask, and they didn't call it. And the next play, they called a holding call, and it was a huge chunk play for us. And they called a holding call, and it was on Michael Dunn.
Okay.
It's like he had his guy, he had him in position. The guy was turning, he was turning with them, and they called a holding penalty. I was like, you didn't see it wasn't a grab or a pull down or anything of that kind of motion. I was like, come on, man, like it's just not in our favor. But yes, we should be 3-0. And in case you were under a rock over the past week, so they have been destroying the Cleveland Browns for blowing a 13-point lead in the last minute 22. And so, anyway,
that is, as they would say, whatever. It's the Brownsiest Browns thing that we can do.
Yep, absolutely. And it happened. That's the first time it happened since 2001, which it so coincides to happening to involve the Cleveland Browns.
That was us
when they blew a 14-point lead against the Chicago Bears, and ultimately lost that game to Shane Matthews in overtime, 27-21. So yeah. That's where we are. That's just plain ugly, nasty product. But we did talk about one of these games is going to be a trap game. I said that. Remember we were talking about when Deshaun, when we had the said they can very well. I like to be optimistic and say we can go 6-0, because we could very well go 6-0, given for such and such reasons that we've seen now. Game manager, run the damn ball. Solid defensive play, but we gave that one up. And so, hey, go next week. We can be 2-1 right now, going into next week against the Atlanta Falcons, which they're having all types of issues down there. We can very well be 3-1 going from there. So we got to take care of business. I'm excited. That schedule is tough though. I re-looked at the schedule again, and I'm like, man, we got some pretty tough matchups. But we play the Chiefs soon. I mean, not the Chiefs. We play the Chargers soon. And Justin Herbert is not 100%.
No.
And so Eckler hasn't found his stride yet. So we can definitely win that game in Cleveland, which I feel like we very well can definitely win that game. And Tampa Bay looks vulnerable. Now, let's just say they go out and hang 40 points on Green Bay this week, and they'll be like, oh, shit, here we go. We play Buffalo. Buffalo looks like a juggernaut. I'm always going to pick the Browns. And I said that, watching them in week 1, that they don't have a run game. And if our secondary holds up, which if we don't give up blown assignments, we have a chance to win that game. But
I mean,
we're looking,
like you said, if you look back at it, I mean, New England's mediocre. Baltimore's already got injuries. Cincinnati line can't protect Joe.
Right.
Houston is up and coming, but you should take care of Houston. You got the C words on the schedule. You got Jameis on the schedule. Like the Miami game is going to be a good game, because you go Miami, Buffalo, Tampa, like that stretch. That's a wild stretch.
That's a nasty stretch. Yeah, that's a nasty stretch.
And 2 of them are on the road, so you got to go, from Miami up to Buffalo.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold, because it's probably gonna be still 85 degrees in Miami, and then we're gonna go to the Orchard Park, and cold as all hell. So, yeah, we got some work to do. But I hate that we wasted a game where Jacoby Brissett had, literally 82% completion rate. And he's looking at all the money, and I'm not mad at that. But again, Joe Wood, step your game up. Mike Preefer, you got to go. It's nasty. We just can't have that. So,
no.
Anyway.
But we won.
Yeah. But we won. So, not going to nitpick. My dad did that after week 1. I was like, Dad, we haven't won a road game in, 28 years on the opening day for kickoff weekend. And we sure as hell haven't won a week 1 in a long time. So, be easy. Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Jason from the Modest Men Podcast. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all pro and college football betting needs and sports info this season. Find all the latest football league developments, game matchups, and news. BetOnline is also your continued source for all sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports and events, including MLB, MMA, boxing, and golf. And if you love sports podcasts like The Modest Men, you can find those at BetOnline as well. Head over to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Anyway, NFL this week we got a few matchups. Let's just talk about Tua's performance in that crazy game. Yeah. That was I picked. Speaking of picks, like I said, I went 11-5. We went 7-9 this past week. That was the matchup where you picked the Ravens, I picked the Dolphins, and it was looking good for you that game.
A lot of those matchups last week had some interesting outcomes because they were what 3, 4 was it 4 games or 3 games where people were down double digits. Yeah, I mean 3 in particular that I just blew those leads, right? And then we lost the game where we thought Carolina was going to do something, and they should have won that game and lost to Graham Gano and his field goal, and that was that. So I can't believe they lost to Daniel Jones. Yeah, the Raiders blew a 20-point lead. The Ravens blew a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter. We blew a 13-point lead with 122. Like, those are all wins in our book, right? We should have had wins. We should have. It should be. The only game that we missed on was the Colts and saw that
Jacksonville, right? But we should have paid attention to the little nuances of the Colts hadn't won a game in Jacksonville in years. If we should have paid attention to that, and I think everyone was quick to crown Matt Ryan like, oh my gosh, Carson Wentz blew, last season. They had a chance to win this, go into the playoffs, and they were hiding, blah, blah, blah. And, Frank Wright had them in order. And they're in a worse off position right now, I feel,
for sure,
in this current moment, because Matt Ryan is an old man. And his mechanics is not there, and they just look like shit. Okay. This is as clear as I can put it. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Indianapolis, y'all got something to prove. And then y'all got early injury bugs too. Yeah. Anyway, that was the only game we missed on. So talking about also just the nuances of paying attention to those, like Kirk Cousins and being 2-9.
Actually, looking at our picks, we both picked the Bengals and Cooper Rush.
That was also another one, which they had a game that should have been won. That was also one that was lost in the last 45 seconds. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. This week we got some intriguing matchups. So obviously we start off 1-0 because the Browns won. Ravens Patriots. Ravens favored by 3. We got the Bills Dolphins. Jets, Bengals, Panthers, Saints, Lions, Vikings, Chiefs, Colts, Raiders, Titans, Eagles, Commanders, Texans, Bears, Jaguars, Chargers, Packers, Bucks. And for the Sunday night game, no, that's not the Sunday night game. Falcons, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, 49ers, Broncos is the Sunday night game. And then you got Cowboys, Giants leading us out on the Monday night game. So let's start from the top. Who you taking? Ravens, Pats?
Ravens at Patriots. Very easily the Ravens, unless something catastrophic happens.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, Lamar Jackson is having an MVP season once again. He definitely wants to get paid. He's healthy right now, and it's going to be very scary. First quarterback to have in the same game a pass play for over 75 yards and a rushing play for over 75 yards. The guy's dynamic, incredible. Bills, Dolphins. This is Bills at Miami. Bills are favored 5.5. They look invincible. Over under is 54 points. I am going to leave Tua on the bench this week, but I do know that their offense is way better than the Rams currently and the Tennessee Titans. I will say that. So, but I will take Bills on this. Makes sense.
I mean, if I was betting and the Dolphins are getting almost a touchdown. Oh man, I mean, you know what? Give me the Dolphins.
Okay.
I just something about all their weapons and how they run their offense makes me worried, because the Bills dictate you have to get them out of cover 3, right? You have to get them to where their corners are in man and the safeties can't do what they do, since it's all dictated on the front line pressure, which they do great at since they got Von Miller. And they have 2 Pro Bowl safeties in the back, but their corners are the weakness. So if Miami can stretch the field or create one-on-one matchups, then I don't know. I mean, it could be a shootout.
I'm not gonna say they're. I don't think their corners are a weakness, especially because Trey White is out, so they're not necessarily 100%. They're linebackers. I mean, other than Matt Milano, like who's there at the linebacker? Like, you know what I mean? So if you get in a situation where you got Reek in the slot, you know what I mean, and he just so happens to be covered by a linebacker, which by mistake just on scheme, then yeah, like that's right. Or Jalen Waddle, same thing kind of deal where, you know. But yeah, I mean, I will like to think that it's going to be a shootout, because if it's a shootout, then I can start my quarterback. But I don't know. I mean, again, it is the Dolphins. I like Mike McDaniel down there. He's calling a hell of a game right now, and I'm really excited for them. I mean, not to be too excited because we got to play them later on in the season, but whatever. Next games, you got Joe Flacco and the Jets versus Cincinnati. Jets at home. Bengals are favored 4.5. Here's a prop bet: Joe Flacco under half an interception. Who you taking?
Can I interest you in changing your pick now that I see that one of the Bills safeties is out? Before I go on, because I'm looking at their current injury report and it says Micah Hyde is out.
Oh, that is that. Well.
If anything, it goes from out to questionable. So it's like,
okay,
he's not 100%.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a ride with you. I'm a change, and I'm a ride with you on the Dolphins. So,
but neither one of us are putting Tua in, right? I'm not playing him either.
Yeah, I'm I want to, because I want to see that. Like, I mean, what could be the worst, right? See, here's the dilemma. Keenan Allen is still out, right? Mm-hmm. Now they play this week. They play the Jags, right?
Well, okay. So I'm looking at the report. It says Keenan Allen was limited in practice on Thursday.
He's still most likely going to be. He had a hamstring injury, so it's either he's going to be, extremely limited or being out there for a decoy. And Herbert is not feeling 100%. He has a torn or they said fractured cartilage, which I didn't think you could fracture cartilage.
I heard, and that's up to 4 ribs, like 4.
Oh shit! Okay, that's gonna be a game time decision. They played a 1:00 game too, or the 4:00 game, which sucks. Yep, and the Bills and Dolphins are the earlier game. All right.
Sorry, what game?
I'll ride with the Dolphins on that.
Okay.
We're Bengals Jets. Bengals are favorite 4.5 points. Over under is 45, and there's a prop bet for Joe Flacco under half an interception.
At Jets, coming off a comeback win. Bengals are struggling. Are there all their receivers back?
Yeah, well, T played last week. Yeah, and he just didn't have any time. T was their leading receiver last week. He just didn't have time at all.
All right, give me the Bengals.
Like 0 time.
So,
okay,
you were talking about
shout out.
You were talking about
shout out. Right.
No, go ahead.
Shout out Garrett Wilson and my and Chris Olave, my OSU boys down there. This is my I got
that's nice. Yeah. Your dilemma was Herbert or Tua. My dilemma is Burrow or Tua. So I don't know. And then on my other team, it's do I play Herbert, who's banged up, or do I play Kirk? Don't call me Kirk. So. But if they're 100%, give me the Bengals.
I'm going to pick the Bengals because I just don't. Yeah, Bengals. I just can't. I can't cheer for the Jets. Hold on, the only Jets fan that I know. Rest in peace, Andy Logston. Love you, bro. That's the only Jets fan that I know. And still to this day. So even when they came back and won last week, I thought about my boy. So, but yeah, it was. Anyway, you go into the Saints Panthers. Saints favored by 3, over under 40 and a half. Yeah, Panthers at home. I'm going Saints because I just can't.
Can we pick ties? Weekly pick them. Can we do ties? I don't know.
Oh man, I mean, do you want to pick a tie? I don't.
No,
I mean,
give me the Saints. I have to pick, so give me the Saints.
Okay. Lions Vikings. Vikings. Give me the Lions with 6 points. I'm taking the Lions with 6.
Well, it's not Monday, so give me the Vikings.
Okay. You got Jeff Okudah on Justin Jefferson, and yeah, that's gonna be fun. The over under is 53.5. It can very well be a shootout, and what we've seen from the Lions offense so far, they came to play. And so, yeah, but I'm gonna take the Lions with 6. That's a full touchdown for sure. So, Chiefs Colts. Chiefs favor 6.5, over under 45 and 49.5. Prop bet over Pat Mahomes 2.5 touchdowns. I think this is actually a lock. Colts at home, yeah, but this is a lock.
No, for sure.
Chiefs.
It could be 10 points, and I'm gonna take the Chiefs.
Yeah, for sure. We got Raiders Titans. Don't want to bet this game, but
give me the Raiders because they both suck.
Yeah, exactly. The Raiders. You got to give Tay the ball more.
It's the Belichick disciples battle.
Yeah, and Vrabel may very well get fired.
What were they thinking, letting all their receivers go? That's the same thing. I'm gonna say the same thing with the Packers. What were they thinking, letting all their receivers go?
Don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, because
all you did was make Derrick Henry's job harder.
Absolutely. Shout out Josh Gordon being down there caught up from the practice squad.
Because the way I saw that, but the way Jacoby looks, I'd rather have Jacoby Brissett before Tannehill. And I can't believe I'm saying that.
I mean, I was totally confident in Jacoby Brissett being the ideal game manager. I was okay with that. I never trusted Tannehill. Everybody tried to put a lot of hype in him. I just didn't feel it. So
I don't know if the Titans might be the worst in that division. I don't know if they can beat anyone else in that division.
Jacksonville. Yeah, you're right. You got to get Devontae Adams involved in the game more. They late game situations. You put it into the hands of Hunter Renfrow, and he coughed up that ball twice in OT in the same drive. And 2 fumbles in 3 plays. Sure-headed as all hell, but just trying to do too much. Put it in the hands of the guy is the best receiver in the NFL, has been for the past 3 years. Moving on.
Gotta feed
Eagles, Commanders. Gotta feed them. Eagles, Commanders. Eagles favor at 6.5, looking like a juggernaut.
Yep,
I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
I picked up the Eagles. I picked up Eagles defense on the waiver wire. I'll take the Eagles.
Okay, taking the Eagles because, I mean, who's gonna take the Commanders? Terry got paid, and I'm really excited for him.
Shout out to Curtis Samuel on my fantasy team.
Yeah, and Mr. Curtis Samuel from the Ohio State University. However, it ain't looking good. Jahan Dotson is actually looking really good too. He's another rookie receiver. I mean, there's quite a few rookie receivers that's looking better than Drake London. Let's just say that.
There's a few.
There's quite a few.
But that's not in my business.
Moving on to right. Don't care. Houston at the Bears. Bears favorite 2.5 over under. He says, "Excuse me, Houston."
Yeah, I want to see Justin Fields prosper, man, but they don't do him.
It's not looking good.
Chicago.
It's not looking good. Well, I think that's a hard one too. So over under is 40.5. So that's all you need to know about that. They expect a low scoring game. And it says bet under Justin Fields not throwing a touchdown pass. And so that's the bet. That's what I'm saying. Take that bet.
So the over under I'm looking at is 40. Like that's rough.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's 40.5. They just adjusted the lines then, the most recent one that you got.
Okay.
It was, they're not doing him any favors. You had in 50% of his starts in the NFL, he has 0 touchdown passes. As far as crazy. God, I don't want to pick this. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know much about the Texans. Bears at home. Give me the Bears.
Okay.
Don't want to do it, but I'm going to. Jags at Chargers. It all is dependent on if Herbert is playing. Herbert's playing automatic. Chargers favored by 7, over under 47.5. Yeah, that's a tough game to call, considering. And by the way, last week all the double digit lines last week were missed. All of them. Every single one. All of them. So, who you taking? Chargers, Jags.
Give me Duval in an upset. Give me Duval in an upset. Duval County, stand up.
Duval. Oh wow.
Every time we want to believe in the Chargers, they fucking let us down.
I know.
And now they're all hurt.
Right. I know. We didn't miss on that last week though. We definitely picked the Chiefs. So,
like we've talked about, everybody wants to crown them, but they aren't ready.
Yeah, the Jags. Look, if I get a really good game out of James Robinson, I'm gonna be really happy. Okay, looking like his old, top 8 running back self.
Christian Kirk out there laughing at the Cardinals, like it wasn't.
Yeah,
me.
right. Oh my gosh.
Just saying, Christian Kirk's like, I wasn't the problem.
Yeah, you're right.
He's thinking about it.
Give me the Jags on points.
Yes. Do it.
Plus 7.
I know.
Plus 7. That's a lot. That's a lot. Chargers are at home, but I mean it's whatever.
It ain't no home. Like that's the only game that they're gonna have a home field advantage because Jacksonville don't travel.
Exactly right. Maybe so. So it may be empty.
That's their first home game.
We got Packers Bucks. I'm obviously gonna rob my guy, Mr. Tommy Boy, in that #1 defense. They have 0 receivers.
Zero receivers.
Zero.
Scotty Miller and some dudes.
I mean, both these teams have 0 receivers. I mean, at least you got Godwin. You know what I mean? Because he should be playing this week. But
give me the Bucks because the Packers look terrible.
I do not trust Aaron Rodgers. I don't.
Because ayahuasca, Aaron.
Yeah, shout out Steve. He was the one that hit us on that too as well too. Him and Will Smith. That was the first people I knew who was talking about the ayahuasca, and it was Anyway, but the shamans, which is real. I heard that's one hell of an experience. I heard it is. It's like just as purifying yourselves in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. It's you have that, and you have exactly right. Falcons Seahawks 1.5 point favorite.
You went with the Bucks, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bucks.
Patrick Brady.
Yep, that's my guy. Sorry,
which is weird because he's a Michigan man.
I don't. It's not even that. He is 199, and when you think about pick 199, it's how can you not cheer for him? That's right.
So I forgot to mention when we talked about the Lions. Did you see that Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yeah, he said he don't want that John Brown hind. John Brown foot in his hind. Yep.
Yeah, he said he has every receiver memorized that was picked before him.
Oh yeah. Those guys are different. Mm-hmm. Those guys are different. He looked in the sideline. He said that he looked on the sideline, the guy that was picked above him, and he's like, he wasn't playing much. I was like, ooh. That shit was brutal. Oh god, that was great.
Falcons, Seahawks,
the shitty birds.
Where is it?
In Seattle. I mean, it doesn't matter much right now because it's September, but
because I need it, give me the Falcons because I need Patterson to because I unknowingly drafted him on both of my fantasy teams, so I need Patterson to do work all the time.
Yeah, and I was really disappointed that they didn't get him involved in the passing game last week. I mean, he had 10 rushes for 39 yards, or 11 rushes for 39 yards, but only had one target. And, it didn't make any sense to me. But I sure as hell can't cheer for the Seahawks. So it just doesn't look like that's going to be something that I'm going to do. Dirty Birds. Plus 1.5. Rams Cardinals in Arizona. I don't know how the Rams are going to win that game. Well, I do know how they're going to win the game, but they just look different to me than they did last year in the previous year. So the defense doesn't look as sound as it did. They literally blew a big time lead last week in the game that they had in control. It came down to Jalen Ramsey having to pick in the last 40 seconds. I don't know. Give me the Cardinals 3.5.
Give me the Cardinals as well, because I don't see any run game from the Rams. I don't see anything that resembles a championship level team at this point. Plus, Odell out here, probably going to go to the Bills since Von Miller's his best friend all of a sudden.
Yeah. Although, I again, that hat that you have on, I can unretire my Odell jersey. Because it could very well happen. Because we need another.
Oh, I still wear it.
Yeah,
I still wear it. I had it on. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I
just like you love Tom. I love Odell no matter where he's from.
Yeah. So, Odell, man, come home, man, please. Although I did hear reports that he was talking about going to New York. They've had a conversation about going back to the Giants. I was like, you gonna go to Daniel Jones? I said, come with Jacoby, knowing that you're going to have DW coming back in a few weeks.
I can't believe we both just picked the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, because sure as hell don't trust the Rams right now.
But I trust Kingsbury even worse when he made it out loud that he let his quarterback draw up plays in the dirt.
Yeah.
Overtime.
I mean, why not? I mean, you seen what happened last week. He out there doing Call of Duty plays.
No,
it said ready. Oh,
that's Tecmo Bowl, huh?
That's it. Oh yeah, the big circle in Tecmo Bowl we used to do, like when you go around in a big loop, and still having the defenders around you. That's what that was in that last play when he scored a touchdown. That was crazy. And AJ Green, man, I don't know what was going on with him, and he had the dropsies. He couldn't catch a cold last week. He couldn't catch COVID, but he caught that 2-point conversion. So, yeah, right. I mean, I guess when it matters, right? Moving on, Niners at Broncos. Welcome back, Jimmy G. Super excited about that. It's a totally a different vibe right now. Give me the Niners, to which they are favored. As much to say about Jimmy G.
Give me the Niners because the coach doesn't know what he's doing in Denver.
Yep.
And Russ looks washed.
Yeah. Yeah. That was crazy. By the chance, if y'all have an opportunity, go back and read that article about what happened between the Seahawks and Russell Wilson in that relationship. It came out right before the draft. It was eye opening. And also your boys KJ Wright and Richard Sherman talking about Russ getting preferential treatment, which was wild. I was like, okay.
When the fans in Denver are helping you count down the play clocks so you know what you're doing and you can get the play called in time, that's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's that. And then last but not least, Cowboys, Giants. Giants at home, favored 2.5. Over under is 39.5.
I don't know why. Give me the Giants. I don't know why. I can't pick a guy named Cooper Rush. That sounds like
Jerry Jones talking big. I'm going to take the Cowboys in honor of my cousin and Ryan's godfather, Donnie.
Cooper Rush sounds like a character on Riverdale. I can't pick a Riverdale. I can't pick a Riverdale character. Give me Danny Dimes.
Hell no, I'm never taking that guy. I'm never taking that guy.
So you picking the Cowboys?
I'm definitely picking the Cowboys.
All right.
Plus 2.5. So yeah. 2.5. All right. So that's that. We got a few minutes before you got to get off to work. I just want to just quickly highlight two things that happened in the NBA. Schroeder.
Well, we can talk about a few different things, and that's definitely one of them.
Yeah. Schroeder, NBA, right? Schroeder, 2 years ago, turning down $84 million extension. This is the ultimate fumble of the bag.
He thought
type
he was
scenario
when he did that too.
Yep. And because there was a lot of players getting paid, and Conley just he had a contract for 140, and I understood, but I also was like, ooh, that's not when that market wasn't what you thought it was, and just ended up signing on a deal, going to Boston, and that didn't work out. It was pretty bad. So he returns to the Laker Nation on a $2 million deal
on the
this
low.
year. So yeah,
on the low.
But he came back because of Bron, and no other teams that were pursuing him had LeBron James. And so
who is your starting point guard?
Well, currently Darvin Ham has Russell as the starting. So they had a lot of guards. A lot of guards right now currently.
Oh, you are right.
You still got Kendrick. You still got Kendrick Nunn on the roster, right?
On ESPN.com, they have Dennis Schroeder listed as a starting shooting guard.
Okay. I don't know how, but whatever.
And they have Westbrook. Westbrook's listed as the PG. Beverly the backup. Kendrick Nunn the backup at the 2.
Who's starting at the 2?
Schroeder.
Okay, Schroeder at the 2. Okay, all right. That's an undersized 2 guard, but I suppose. So
neither one of your starting guards can shoot.
Yeah. Well, no, Schroeder can shoot. Well, Schroeder can shoot. Schroeder has a mid range and he can hit an open 3. That's a far cry of saying with Russell Westbrook, even though he's been in Chris Brinkley's drum. Which, by the way, I don't know if you know, but Chris Brinkley is a producer. I don't know if you knew that, but I got a song in a new playlist coming out. Yeah, with Dave East and Jada. Anyway, so you got currently Austin Reeves, Dennis Schroeder, Max Christie, Lonnie Walker IV, who came over just this past. On a 2-way contract, you got Scottie Pippen Jr., you got Pat Bev, Kendrick Nunn, and of course Russ. And so that's the guard situation right now. It's a lot of guards. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they were trying to still move. Russ' latest reports is that the Pacers trying to deal with getting Buddy Hield and Miles Turner to LA. The Lakers were still reluctant to move the last of their draft picks to help submit that trade. And so back at square one, you got to do something though, but whatever. That's just, I don't want to talk about the Lakers no more past that. Oh yeah. And ESPN and Stephen A. Smith was on record yesterday talking about, I didn't have a vote in the NBA top 100, but there is not 6 players better than LeBron James in the NBA currently. So they got Bron at 6. It's a lot to say when it's like year 19, how many miles he got, still averaging 30. It would have been the lead scorer if he played 2 more games last year.
So Just off the top of my head, if he's 6, then so Giannis,
Steph, Jokic,
Embiid.
I think they put Luka in there, and then Embiid. I think that was in the end.
Honestly, I'm okay with that. Even if he was 5 or 4, I'm okay with that. Like, I wouldn't be, jumping out of my chair to be yelling from the mountaintops about that.
Oh, they had KD at 8. I mean, it's all about recency, right? And those lists is always about recency, and you don't take into. It's like, when Kawhi, when Toronto won the championship, right? They had Kawhi at number 1 because they won a championship, right? And it's like, I mean, they didn't move Steph to 1 as the best player, which is disrespect for that. If you wanted to go on the whole premise that if you're gonna have the NBA Finals MVP, being number 1,
right?
But whatever, right? Disrespectful. They still disrespected Steph, but whatever. With that being said, though, I just don't know how you have Brown out the top 3. Giannis is clear cut number 1. I mean, let's just say that, right? Like, I'd put him 4. I don't know if I can put him above Steph, Jokic, and Giannis. Okay, I wouldn't even argue that. I wouldn't argue that. However, I'll just because what kind of impact.
At best, he'd be 3.
What kind of impact he has, right? Right, exactly, right. Like at best 3. It just. I mean, if you were to tell me that you had Giannis and then Jokic, right? Like, and then you put Brown at 3. You know what I mean? Like, I those are the 2 that I know that are clearly in this point in his career, in his career, and where they are in their career, clear cut, right? Steph is
I respect it now.
But
I respect it.
But
I used to hate it, but I gotta give it.
This is no disrespect. This is no disrespect. But I'm what in the same token, I'm saying though, like, since he was also, they just won a championship, he's Finals MVP, right, and clearly the best player on the basketball court during that time and during the run in the playoffs, right? Like, if we're gonna go on recency and what that is, then yes, I'm okay with that, right? And so you got Steph at 2, Giannis at 1. Jokic at 3. You can put Brown at 4. It's just hard to me to dismiss. I know you want to say that it was 15 games under 500 what the Lakers were last year. That's like, right. I get that. That's like, Ben Brown only played 55 out of 82 games last year. No, I mean, I get that. That I don't know many players that are going to be able to do anything with that team, to be honest, in the fucking shambles of what they had last year, as far as the way that roster was constructed. Just saying. Don't know. This is the reason why Frank Vogel got fired 2 years after winning the championship. Just whatever. But again, and it wasn't an Allen Iverson 30 either. This is 30 on 55% shooting.
Right.
Just saying. And he don't get to the line that often either. Anyway, and then just a big one, man. Ime Udoka gets suspended for a year for conduct detrimental to the organization. That's what we're going to say what that was.
Yeah, they said, it's in the handbook. It's a part of their team policy. It's a messy situation because they clearly implicated him and a female member, so the internet went nuts and trying to figure out who's who, and going through everybody's LinkedIn's and trying to put pieces together, and it's just a messy situation.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy too. Like, literally, like, coming off the finals,
because and they just made the finals. He's he won over the team. He got those guys to play hella defense. They came together. They looked a mess before he got there, as far as being a team,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
And you saw nothing but good things from them. You expected them to be in the top 3. You expected all sorts of stuff for them outside of the random trade rumors, which I don't know if that was Brad Stevens.
Oh, with JB,
with Jason, and it just. Other than that, there was no drama with this team. They were going to go into this season, and you expected them to get back to where they were, if not back to the finals. So it's crazy that this might derail all of it. Like
they were betting favorites to win the NBA championship this year.
This could blow up the team.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He had those guys. He had them focused. He had them playing for each other as a team. They were playing crazy team defense. I believe they were number 1 in defense. It just, man,
nasty. Yeah, it was very unfortunate. Mr. Nia Long. Yeah, I don't know, bro. It's consensual, right? But I do know workplace relationships, those things, like, especially like I've seen this happen before on many other avenues where, again, this type of behavior is strictly prohibited.
It's so crazy that somebody can get suspended for this. So it was like, to what level was the transgressions? Who, like, for
who was it? That's the part, right?
For you to get suspended by the team for a year, like, off the top, they were like, it could be a year, and like to the point where he didn't want to quit. He didn't want to resign, and he was willing to take a suspension for what he did. Well, what? Who and what? And like, was it like at work? Was it like while during business hours? Like, it's so messy. Was it ongoing?
Yeah, all of that. I don't know. It's
clearly the team is like, no fraternizing amongst each other. Like, let's keep it professional. But to the level that you suspend the dude for,
as most businesses are, especially like if you're a key leader, right? Like head coach, things of that nature. Like, I mean, that just don't kind of condone that kind of behavior. So yeah, I don't know. It's
wild.
Like
a year, like legit a year. Like he can't do nothing.
Unprecedented.
I was one. I'm like, obviously, was it? It's like, is it the owner's daughter? Obviously, Brad Stevens is the GM, so it's not necessarily like his daughter, but it's like what?
I mean, we talking daughters, wives. I was thinking wives. Like, was it Brad Stevens' wife? Was it the? I don't. Like it's.
But they didn't. But they clearly has said employee. So I'm like, that's rough.
Yeah. And then on the inverse of that, you get Robert Sarver, who was suspended by the league for a year, right, and fines and shit like that. But then, it takes a tweet from LeBron.
Bye, get out.
Yeah,
this guy has a history of just trying to be the cool guy in the room with the players, and wanting to fit in so bad, and having attitude, and first of all, he's someone who was known for having a really bad temper. He was definitely somebody who had no problems letting who he was, and making himself the biggest guy in the room. And just while you had people like Steve Kerr saying, defending him, but you had like the Earl Watsons, and just unfortunately James Jones was defending him, which is weird. But like, there was just too many instances and a track record of this guy going around saying things inappropriately, and berating people and demeaning people, and throwing around N-words like, well, why can't I say it? He said it, or it's in a, like, you just, like, someone on his level should have a better understanding of his role, and he is the owner, and he is not somebody that the players are going to want to hang with, and all. It he needed to go, and then he just all of his like press statements and he wasn't gonna, and of course he gets to sell the team and make money off of it. Like, they were never gonna take his team, because just like all these other leagues, the commissioner works for these owners, and the owners weren't gonna kick this guy out. And it's the same thing with Daniel Snyder. You know, Jerry Richardson was smart enough to sell
Jerry Jones, right? You know, of course.
And you know, he obviously sees, because of, like you said, because of media push and Chris and LeBron all over him, like, the pressure was gonna be endless to get him out of there. So at least he finally realized he needs to step back. Yes, he's gonna make money off of it by selling his team, but we don't need him in the media, you know, on the sidelines. I don't need to hear about him. I don't need to see anything he does or did anymore, because it was gross. It was disgusting. And somebody who is a billionaire should not be that demonstrative of a figure at all.
Is it crazy to think that Chris Paul has been involved in 2 of these?
Oh, poor guy.
Right.
Oh, man.
Which means that his character and level of leadership, right, like, could be argued greater than the owners that he serves under.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like it's very wild to think about that, you know. But yeah, we can't just be giving slaps on the wrist in that regard as far as for owners, and they're supposed to be held to a higher standard, things of that nature. And it's just like the fact that it took some effort and outcry from others around the league for them to force him to sell the team after the NBA decided to, like, well,
because he wasn't going to, right? They were just going to be like,
right. So, yeah, next week we got Marvel to cover. We're gonna start the show off with Marvel next week, just because we're gonna be wrapping on She-Hulk, which the final episode just came out yesterday. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet, and all of the stuff from D23, and we're waiting for the Loki 2 trailer to drop, and we had some additional Wakanda Forever trailers to drop, and we had Secret Invasion trailer drop, and it's so much to talk about that we just can't at any point just short it. So we gonna start off next week's episode with that.
And don't forget, you gotta watch Atlanta.
Oh yeah, we got Atlanta to watch. So that's that episode next week. We gonna briefly talk about picks and so forth in the last episode, in the last part of the episode. But anyway, it's been fun, brother. Of course, as always, God bless you and your family.
Same to you.
Hey, take care, everyone. Go get yourself checked out.
Like, subscribe, reviews, clicks,
all of the good stuff, right?
Follow us on our socials, all of that. Share posts, share likes. Gotta promote.
Yeah, we gotta get some guests in here. Like we're back on a regular schedule now, so we're gonna get some guests at some point. That we just gotta get those.
I got some things working, brother. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
I got some things working. Because new media, we out here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's I was told a story yesterday, and I knew of it, but I also realized that maybe, just maybe, we got a connection for someone really big. I can't talk about it right now in this moment, but there's like someone really, really, really big, and we may, if there's a little bit of some flexing, we may be able to get that to happen. So,
you giving us those Mike Greenberg teases now. Look at you.
Yeah. I sweet. Oh yeah, Modest Man t-shirt and apparel coming soon. Anyway, y'all be safe. Deuces.
Peace.